Okay.
That's weird.
Let's
Games Workshop's Basement, hosted
we live?
John Quennell,
Let me know.
We're kind of live. Val Helpinfinger.
Am I live?
Yeah, it's Game After Dark.
Woo!
Guys, welcome
Son
to
of
Game
a
After. I know you saw me, but that was just Dickie putting in his 2-year notice. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Welcome to Game After Dark, Warhammer 40,000's only late night show for some reason. My name is John. I'm here to misinform and try to entertain as we talk about the goings on over the last week in the world of Warhammer. But folks, it is a task so massive, I can't do it alone. So let's meet the team. Starting with our good friend Danny. He's advised me to state that he brings a wealth of tabletop knowledge and expertise to the table. It's Senor McDevitt.
That is true. I'm here. I'm Danny.
See, I wrote True Bill on your army lists. Like, don't worry about it. You
I
got
appreciate
it.
that.
We also have the man behind the curtain, the guy who's responsible for everything you see that isn't just us talking, including cutting directly to me instead of the intro. It's the master of the digital short. It's Dickie.
I quit.
Could have thrown him up.
I
Wait,
quit.
what?
Could have thrown them up.
Why?
I don't know. Because you said.
Well, we're going to stick to this one wide shot for a real long time. But
Yeah.
before he finishes his 2 minutes notice, it's going to be our guest host tonight is the original Stats Daddy, Canada's most beloved bird outside the common loon.
Oh.
It's a man who literally refuses to talk about 40K well on any kind of show. It's Peter the Falcon.
Woo!
What are you drinking? What is that?
What are you
That
chugging?
bag of milk?
I'm not allowed to say on camera.
Oh.
Why?
You guys aren't sponsored.
Sorry, we'll
Jeez.
I'll
We'll
cover it
cut
like
it in
this the
post.
whole time. No one will know. It's purple. That's all you get.
Oh. All right.
be drinking Gatorade.
Well, that makes me think of something else, maybe, Peter, that is an illicit drink. Is that what's happening over there?
No, I
Well-
don't do illicit drinks at night.
Oh,
That's crazy.
I have right over here. This is Mike Brown's hard lemonade. I have
This
6 of
is
these, and it's exactly
bubbly,
how much I need.
Blackberry bubbly. It is
Oh.
disgusting.
no.
I should not have drank it as fast as I just did. I'm all gassy
That
in
was
my
intense.
stomach. It's just gonna fuck up the whole show. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not.
It's all good. Thanks for apologizing from the outside.
I'm
But today,
so close to my camera. Fuck.
dude, I love that. Keep right there because tonight we have a full slate as we find out what we've been up to in the last week in our patented new state of play segment. We're going to talk over the changes to the game from last week's balance data slate or whatever the hell they want to call it this time. We're going to hit the low points of the community as we go around the net. We're going to ask Pete
Oh, low
questions
points.
provided by our wonderful Patreons and members. And we finally play real estate agent from the Grand Rapids, Michigan greater metropolitan area
Yep.
or competitive 40K player.
What the fuck is a metropolitan?
Metropolitan. It's a very long sentence that I wrote down. It's
Metropolitan.
metropolitan. Let's
It's
just say
where
it's
Matt Root lives in the city. It's a metropolitan.
guys, will it hit the heights of last week's Who's Grunt Is It Anyway? No,
No.
but we're still going to play.
Yeah.
Without further ado, let's rush through our least favorite news segment. It's time for State of Play. Yeah, there we go.
You did it.
We did it.
You
We
did
got there. You hate it when Val's right. Val, by the way, is on mandatory paternity leave right now.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back. Yeah, absolutely.
So before we go any
Yeah,
further,
yeah.
I tweeted a thing earlier about how I think Val used to be part of Rockapella. The famous
have that be true.
the famous band that sang the theme song for the Carmen San Diego TV show and I believe video game. So if someone could do some research for me, that would be great. If we could get a pickup here every time of that band member, you'll know which one it is because it is 100%
Or-
Val Helpinfinger.
Okay,
At least some really good
search right
Photoshop.
now. I'm gonna search
Yeah.
right now.
Dickie,
He
get
was
on it.
the
I can
bass.
picture this in my mind.
Like when they sing, he's always the one that's like Carmen San Diego. Can't do it because my voice just doesn't go down there.
Right.
But yeah, 100%. Like I've got this chipmunk thing going on that he clearly didn't have. So
Okay.
Well, Danny, we're
No.
going to talk. Val, Danny, we're going to talk about a little bit about Warhammer stuff. So I apologize.
Okay.
There's actually a little warning here. There's going to be actual discussion of the game of Warhammer 40,000
I could
ahead.
not get him
No.
off it.
I'm
I
not
know
doing
it's all of us.
Tried so hard.
Through
Can't
anyway.
make me
Yeah.
do this.
I'm just going to bust right on through you headlong here. But mainly going to talk about what we've been up to. Danny, Pete, you guys played any 40K this week? Any at all?
This week I played a single game.
Me too.
You guys beat me by 100% each.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000% increase.
I think it's infinite, right? 0 to 1.
Yeah, you can't multiply
Infinite
0 by
percentile.
1. Therefore, I already win, which shows why I'm so good at 40K is my math skills.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, Pete, tell us about your
Wow.
game.
I played some Custodes into the new, slightly less deadly Imperial Knights, and it went really well for me. I had warned my opponent in advance that Trajan Valoris ignores any kind of negative impacts to any statistics, and he forgot. And at one point, he shoved his Knight Warden that reduces damage by 1 and AP by 1 into my face, and I blew him up real bad. And that was basically it. So
Beautiful.
That was the end of the game.
that was
that's
it.
actually when
He
we
was
stopped.
real sad after that. I mean, yeah. The dropping 1 armature, 2 armatures in a list, or 1 big guy is it's enough to make it like a much easier game for Custodes at the very least. So
Sure.
Yeah. Danny, what about you? What was your game?
I played against Death Guard with my Dark Angels. I played against one of our local TOs. It went really good for me. I kind of shot his stuff off the table, and then the Terminators made like 2, 11 and 10-inch charges, and like just ate his whole army.
I'll do it. You better flush those
So-
dice down the toilet just to
quick.
make sure. Yeah, quick.
They were
Because
actually
if
my
you're
rolling
rolling
dice, John.
If you're rolling 11 or 12-inch charges, you better flush those dice down the goddamn toilet to prove they're good.
Yeah, that's what I
You
do
can't
every
make them.
time I roll a 6 now.
You got to flush that dice.
Just tuck in the toilet. Yeah.
I
Game
just
stores.
shove it right in the toilet.
Game stores around North America just with plumbing bills suddenly going through the roof.
Yeah.
Peter, I think that's the balance update we really needed.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
Beautiful. Yeah. So that was good. You handicapped yourself for this weekend's RTT by kicking the ass of the TO. So good job on that, Danny. I'll be sure to ask lots of rules clarifying questions. And then
Go
for me, and I'll still lose. That's okay because I'll not have a good time doing it. But yeah, going down, I just have these guys. This was all I did this week was these beautiful boys. I finally got a Necron Warrior scheme that I super enjoyed. Those bases, they killed me. I did the orange, and I was like, "What basing should I do?" And everyone's like, "Blue," and I'm like, "That sounds dumb." But finally got something I enjoyed eventually, though it is like multiple layers of gloss varnish and things I don't enjoy. And then Danny, you did share this picture in our group chat. I just want to show him. He's not a new model. He is beautiful though.
He is beautiful.
Look at that boy.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing, Danny. That's way better
Yeah.
than John's shit.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that orange. I just wanted to compare the 2 oranges. Like I just had fucking contrast on there. Danny layered stuff and highlighted.
It's every once in a while I'll do that, but not often.
No.
And I mean, by that I mean painting.
I see it.
Dickie, what you been up to?
Ooh, so I did testing into Necrons actually, playing Thousand Suns. It was a delightful game. We're doing a lot of testing to see which armies we're bringing. So yeah, Necrons are super strong actually. It was really hard to kill them. They just refused to die, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Did you try shooting them?
I tried shooting them a lot, but apparently they don't care. So yeah. Good to know.
Fair. Totally balanced. Well, you know what? Let's break out here. We're gonna do some breaking news. Well, not really breaking because we're once a week, and this was last week. But you guys get the gist. The jizz.
Did you say the tryst?
Perfectly. Yeah. Also, I just wanted to make Danny miss his Eldari because he was foolish and he took 1 army with him back out to Alaska, and that army was Space Marines, which is usually a good safe bet. But no one would know Eldari would be so incredibly balanced and fun to play out of the gate.
They're so good.
And then as of last week, Games Workshop waited until after Canada Day and Independence Day to release the first major update to 40K.
Very kind
with
of them to do.
Strands of Fate and Towering Sea. Yeah, you were free on 4th of July to just play busted shit. But the day after, no. back under Imperial rule. Strands of Fate and Towering saw the most major changes. But guys, take us through these balance updates for 40K and what they mean for the state of the game and its first month of 10th edition.
So I think the real big change that we saw was the points increase to the Morkanaut.
Yeah, that's true.
real.
And the Lord of Skulls.
Yeah,
And the
what-
Lord of Skulls.
That one hurt my soul, actually.
Well, especially
Good.
the World Eaters one going up almost double the Chaos Space Marine one.
Jeez.
It was very
That's
clear
good.
that these were problem units.
World Eater's win rate was too high.
Yeah,
I know,
and
it
not.
was way too high.
I mean, like, to be fair, the reason why these things all went up was they essentially hit everything that was towering that had a gun on it. But rather than looking at the towering rule itself, which I get, it's a really new edition. It would look really bad if you had to fundamentally change the rules on a core mechanic that you've implemented in the game, even if it's a bad core mechanic. But yeah, so we saw points increases to basically everything with towering that had a gun. Most indirect weapons in the game saw point increases. And then we saw Strands of Fate move to 1 fate die per phase, in the hopes of slowing down the disgusting Eldari menace.
Danny, how does that change the Strands of Fate work? Do you think that's a good change to that? Does that keep the original feel they were going for? Or
No, I think it's fine. Just 1 dice per phase is fine. You still get to use them as unmodified dice, which is really powerful. So that feels pretty good. Definitely the Farseer lost, I feel like, a lot of utility, and by that I mean bustedness that he had, like where he could
I'm gonna
switch
write
any
that
dice
down
statistics.
in a style
once
guide.
per
I'm gonna,
turn.
like, instead of saying something's busted, I'm just gonna say it has utility.
Yeah, that utility, I questioned every turn I played into that one game I've had into Eldar before I've said I'm never going to play into them again. Because
I
yeah,
think they feel like they're still pretty good, right? I mean, they're not just pretty good; they're very good, right?
I think they're still
so
in like the
this change
70th
helps
percentile
them-
of win rates. So
Sure. Even do you think with this change that's true?
yeah, like
Okay.
I think we've already started seeing it with the events that ran it with the changes in effect this last weekend. Although it's only 1 weekend's worth of data, so you'll have to really wait another week or two, I think, to see the full picture. But they're still just fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to a point there. Like, obviously I want to see more data on this and give you got to give the meta some time to adapt, Peter. And really
Get the fuck out of here.
Danny, you play Eldari, right?
I do.
Is that why we want to? Do you want to give the meta time to adapt, say, to when you've returned to your Eldari army in Idaho? And then
Yeah,
it
like
can
maybe
adapt.
give me 6 months. Come on, guys, just
Let
6
it
months. That's
settle.
all I'm asking.
Let it settle.
Yeah, just let it settle out. It's fine. Points are fine.
Yeah, a lot
So-
of people in chat saying, by the way, the CGI Falcon is doing great, and saying that we've really upped our production on it. I will say now that we are monetized on YouTube, so thanks for not skipping that ad at the start of this video. And also, feel free to become a member, or even better, super chat Pete and tell him that he's got a great beard.
Yeah,
with
super
his
chat
number
me.
and whatever.
I super chat you guys all the time.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
thank you
true.
for that,
And
as always.
literally none of your donations will go towards Falcon. So thank you for that
That's
as
true.
well.
In fact, we're going to put them towards counter Falcon efforts. If you understand what that means, we're going to pay a team of Falcon hunters to go out into the wilderness and cull Falcons in your name.
Wow.
Well, thank you.
Well, so wait, we went from
welcome.
when we were on Mob Rules,
You can
Danny,
only
we
be one.
we adopted a Falcon in his name out of respect, and now that
Mm-hmm.
we're on Grim, we're murdering
This
them.
is
in his
a
name.
180 right here. Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Wow.
you've
You guys
changed,
just
Danny.
got to know me better. You got to know me better, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's really what happened.
Law school has changed Danny in
Yeah.
ways that we didn't foresee,
True.
and definitely PETA did not foresee.
Mm.
PETA, not Peter. What still needs to be done? Because these were the 2 big changes we were talking about, where Strands of Fate was kind of toned down, Towering was kind of brought in line points wise, but there's still a lot of stuff out there that's kind of problematic. So what are some things that you were disappointed they didn't touch on this time?
I think Cult Ambush or Gene Stealer cults in general probably needed a hit that they didn't see because people were a little too angry about Knights and Eldar. And I think we're going to see that now that Eldar has had that slight tap, that we're going to see, like, if we haven't already, like GSC is going to become a real problem. And I think they really didn't do enough with Eldar. Like they are so cheap across the board. Like the go wide list barely lost anything. Not the triple Wraith Knight list, of course, but like the go wide
the good
version
list,
of Eldar.
the actual good list.
Yeah, it's arguably better because triple Wraith Knight doesn't exist anymore. So like those are a couple things. I really think
Desolators getting hit too really helps that list.
Yes.
I feel like
and Desolation, which they needed the hit. They needed to be what they were at.
100%.
But so like GSC not seeing anything. Like we're at a point where it was very clear early on that there were like probably 4 indexes that were way better than everybody else, and a few indexes that are just shit ass garbage, the worst things that have ever happened to us, at least by the players' experience.
Great attitude, yeah.
And if it would have been nice to see a little bit done for them as well, rather than these kind of band-aids that they applied, like Votan, Death Guard, and Admech could probably have used a little bit of love.
Now, to be fair, they did do stuff to Death Guard. They did make it so you could take 7 Plague Marines in a squad.
It's true, and that's huge. I don't know if you know this, but there were a lot of Death Guards players bemoaning that they couldn't take 7.
We got a super chat from John Jeffries.
Oh,
Go
who's
Dickie.
that?
It's now your job to read the super chats.
That's my gig now?
That's
Yeah.
your gig.
Yeah.
Because you quit.
Okay, I quit. So this is my last time I'm going to do this.
We're rehiring.
No, you're
to do-
rehiring you with extra duties.
and also do production of the show. That's part of your duties as well. So.
Oh no, this is going to be a tough one here. Marry, fuck, or kill Danny, Falcon, and John.
You have to read that.
Like, I know who it is.
Okay, go.
I know the answer.
Go.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I would marry myself.
Well, that's
Fair.
okay.
Right? Because I got to live with me. No, that's not true. I'd probably marry Danny, fuck myself, and kill John.
It's fair.
Oh wow.
I think
That's
that's
real fair.
That's the best combination. I think.
I'm really sad because this was like my one shot at a good Canadian visa, and Jesus threw that
You
away.
still got Dickie. You still got Dickie.
I quit.
Danny, let's
yeah.
move it up a little. Marry, fuck, kill. Falcon, me, Dickie.
Oh.
Ooh, man, great question. Oh, I have to
He
choose
kind of cheated
different
by
people.
choosing himself. Yeah, you can't just choose yourself.
God, what a fucking coward.
Because I feel you would just choose yourself for all 3.
Well, let's see. Oh, thanks for the 25 cents, Val.
What a guy.
Hey, he's a new father. He's giving all he can.
Yep.
I appreciate that. All right, so I'd probably marry John, fuck Dickie, kill the Falcon. We've already talked about why we're getting rid of Falcons, because they're menace to society.
I see how it is.
Dickie basically has a perfect male figure. You can't see that from his puppets, but it's true, and that's mostly the reason we hired him back.
That's mostly the reason we hide him behind puppets, is because his just immaculate physique scares us.
Oh,
animal magnetism.
wow.
It would be too much for YouTube. We'd probably get kicked off. We'd have to go to OnlyFans, and nobody wants us to do that.
No one wants us to do that.
Nobody.
I want to tell you, by the way, my genius business idea we're going to do at LVO, because we're going to do a vendor table instead of playing like nerds, Danny. But we're going to sell dice.
Hey, I can't play.
We're going to sell dice.
Yeah.
We're going to sell dice guaranteed to roll well. And if they don't roll well, you get $1 refund. But the dice will be $15 for 6.
Perfect.
Any last points you guys want to touch on from the balance update that came?
I mean, okay, so to Falcon's point, like them not addressing some of the weaker armies, I would just like to say, like, I think it's happening, right? And it should probably happen soonish, but I understand, like, just getting this really broken stuff done out the door, right? Like, first. It's like all the obviously broken things that they kind of took care of in this patch. So, it would have been better to kind of maybe modify some rules. this is like probably the next best thing we could expect. I feel like.
All right.
All right, perfect. Well, talking about the next best thing you should expect, it's time to go around the net.
Oh, right.
Really glad you didn't say us, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's still us technically, and I want to thank Dickie for taking my 7-minute long bumpers and cutting it down to
I
an
was
appropriate
just
length
going
of
to say
time.
something about
I
that
know
too,
you
John.
are, and that's why I
Those
came
are
back.
fantastic now.
So welcome to Around the Net, the part of the show where we dive deep into the dank drivel the internet provides. And this week we're going to play a little catch up, as the last couple of weeks was just consumed by quality content like Toiletgate. We're going to start tonight in Texas and the Texas Open as they put out a friendly reminder saying, were you a part of a Cozy Gate? God, the spelling of this is just awful. Were you a part of Coozygate? Displaygate? Well, don't worry. We here at the Texas Open welcome everyone to play with only one question asked. You have a painted army of your chosen game ready to go? Danny, Falcon, why is Texas the worst?
They hate me so much already. I can't.
Why do they hate you?
I mean, you have to know that it was your fault, right? I mean,
All of it. Yeah.
yeah.
The whole state.
I mean, you shit talked them for like 2 years.
What did I say? At one point I said, "Man, they have a really big team. That Team Texas, and they had to
I'm
do
pretty
it
sure
because
you
there are
said
too
that
many
they had
other
a
large
garbage
teams."
meta, Peter.
No, I yelled garbage meta about like Western Australia. Still true.
Yeah, agreed.
Great. Now the
Nobody's
Australians are
fighting
going to
you
be
on that.
mad at you.
The Michigan area is mostly garbage, and like the southern side of California, like all bad.
See, until you said Michigan, I just thought you had things against 40K teams that live in arid desert climates with venomous creatures all around them.
I think it just really lowers the like the playability of the game.
Mm-hmm.
On top of Western Australia, like the price of a box being like $300 dues. So
You know what? You know what really grinds my gears, Peter?
Oh,
no,
Is that I moved to the Pacific Northwest
I
with the
agree.
hopes of establishing myself as in dominance, and yet now is when the Pacific Northwest decides to have a bunch of good players. This is bullshit. I feel gypped.
I mean, a bunch is really pushing it. I think
Mm-hmm. 4.
I'd say there's a good like
3
6.
to 5.
3.
6.
They have
think
the
there's
potential to make a very small Warhammer team.
Remember, if you
True.
look at the excellent Team USA slides that came out, one of their members, Lucas Truller, who's from Oregon, which I believe is in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not quite
It's true.
sure. His playstyle is WAG. And his
All right,
achievement.
hold on a minute.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's GH. GH is silent. It's not. It's not a. Is that a Scottish thing?
Sorry, I'm sorry. One of us is doing an English degree. One of us is doing
Is
a
it
law
silent?
degree.
I always thought it like made an F sound, like in enough. So it's like waff.
F. That's right. You're absolutely right.
Oh.
GH is F. So his playstyle is thank you, Pete. His playstyle is WAF. And his achievements are painting 300 orc boys by hand, which is really what you want in someone.
I don't know why they didn't put something about his like consistent diet of only uncooked baked beans. Like that should have been in there somewhere if they're going to talk about
Feta
anything.
cheese.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And feta
Pete,
cheese.
you said the people of Texas hate you. Do you have a message for the listener in Texas?
The listener, I love you. I love you, man or woman.
I can show you I can show you our demos. It is absolutely not a she whatsoever.
We have.
I guarantee it's a 35 to 44-year-old man. Yeah.
Good. Still in the demographic then.
Woo! 2 more
You did
years.
it. Mission accomplished.
2 more years.
2
Danny,
more years.
what's the lowest Texas can sink? Not like because of global warming, which they're ignoring.
That's where I was going to go.
Like playing.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Warhammer.
thinking probably below sea level to some degree or another. Probably in some parts of southern Texas, they have lots of limestone, so there may be a chance for sinkholes to develop in that area. But yeah, I mean, really, no, there's no place for them to go. I think they're down as far as they can possibly be.
Mm-hmm. Chat's coming in, downvoting people saying Midwest is everything not on a coast. So, Danny, technically, does that mean you're in the Midwest?
No, that's
Are you
not
on the
even
coast?
true. No,
And then if
Does
we're
it
saying
say
here,
the Pacific Northwest coast? No, it doesn't. It's the Pacific Northwest, dude.
the popular
Look
opinion
at
is
your English degree. Let's it's
There he is.
Oh.
There he is. Look at him.
It's a young
Let me enhance this. Let me enhance this.
enhance.
dude. I definitely had a cassette tape of theirs.
You did. And look at him. And I didn't even tell Dickie which one. He knew. He knew right away
It's
which
obvious,
one it
you
was.
guys.
That is Val Helpinfinger.
It really
I
I
is.
mean, it could be.
Put that face up in the top corner.
You got
No,
it.
the life is still in those eyes. Leave them on the couch. Maybe put them on the couch.
Yep.
There's still life and happiness in those eyes, hope even, if you will. Whereas
Yeah,
we all
big-
know
That
that's
big
not
Carmen
quite
San
true.
Diego money.
That's how he's been enforcing Warhammer all this time.
Yeah.
I found this next guy here on Reddit. This one here says, "Rate my poor hammer setup." Guys, rate the setup.
Oh, it's
7 out of 10.
London GT circa like
Oh.
2018.
It's a
No,
deep
you know what?
cut.
That's 100% that hanger that FLG released and then never sold again. In the middle.
It's
They
just
got,
the
like-
packaging that it comes in that
Yeah.
one piece.
Yeah. I mean, if
so
it's
guys,
good enough for FLG, it's good enough for the 3 other people in the world. So I'd say 7 out of 10.
perfect.
True.
What was back in the day? What was your guys' poor hammer setup?
I've never been poor.
Wow.
Damn socialized
Holy
Canadian
sh-
terrain.
Holy moly.
When you
Uh,
turn 17, when you step into a games workshop, the Canadian government gives you a half table of terrain.
I mean, not ever having to pay for healthcare has been a real bonus for me.
Yeah.
Saved a lot of money.
giving them a lot of disposable income.
Yeah. It felt really good to pay health insurance every month for my employer and then spend tens of thousands of dollars on top of that. It was great. But yeah, Danny, what was your poor hammer setup then? I guess because we had to pay for healthcare, we had to have crappy tables.
That's right. I had a bunch of pieces of cereal boxes that I had cut out into the
Mhm.
shapes of forests and hills and written that on top of them.
Oh, so you played War Machine.
and- No, it was I played Warhammer Fantasy Battles by myself because
You
nobody
didn't need
else in my
terrain for
town
that,
played.
though. That was...
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
What?
Okay. It's terrain.
You had to block
Woods or
other
something.
people's wheels.
Oh, fair enough.
I had to block my own wheels, dude. I was very crafty.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to welcome John Jeffries, who's become a member.
So
Aw.
we have two
Why?
levels. We have Grim Resolve, which is
Yep.
our $4.99 level. The S in Resolve is replaced by a $sign.
Yep.
John has joined at the sellout level though. So congratulations.
Thanks for being a sellout.
Ooh,
Thanks for being a sellout. Love it. Turns out setting that up at 1 a.m, not my best idea, but I appreciate you anyway.
Womp womp.
What are some terrain hacks you guys have seen to create cheap terrain? Pete, you just had a massive event with Falcon up there in Canada. Danny,
Yeah.
you've been a TO, you've run events for in the past for a while. What are
Mhm.
some of your cheap terrain hacks to really like bling out your tables?
Like way back in the day when we played Fantasy Battle, we would do all sorts of stuff with like like beer cans, gluing beer cans together, spray painting them up to make like little towers and stuff for extra tables. Oh, my cat. We would use like some of the stuff they use now, like spray foam on cardboard for just different like tree and bush effects and hills. That was kind of pretty common. 40K, like by the time I got into 40K, we kind of created our own club, so we were pooling money for terrain, so we didn't really have to do too much for that.
Yeah.
But
My favorite thing I did was my parents bought like a new TV or something that came with like the cool big styrofoam piece for protection.
Yeah.
And I spent forever kind of carving out pieces and making this awesome looking like compound, like because I had the big empties, and I was like, yeah, this looks great. I took it outside and I took my rattle can, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be amazing. Sprayed it, just melted, and I was just that's my experience with that terrain. And outside of that, I just put books underneath the green sheet. The classic old hill. What is the worst terrain you guys have ever seen?
Oh God.
Please remember, we want to thank our friends at Frontline Gaming who continue to sponsor this show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We've made too many jokes in the past, and I guess they're upset. I don't know.
I did make
Okay.
a very good joke that did mean Val had to have a conversation with
Yeah. I
in
did
the
make a
past.
short of it. Yeah.
What?
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Carolina Crusade event like 3 or 4 years ago? And the guy that ran it, he had outsourced somebody to do terrain for him, and they just never did. So like the night before the event, he had to make 50 tables worth of terrain out of like foam and pieces of 2x4. That I remember being probably the worst terrain I've ever seen. Luckily, I didn't have to play on
I
it.
think Val jumping in chat saying he
Yeah.
wants to say the ETC in Portugal in like 2017 question mark.
This was bad terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I think for me I got real sick of seeing electrical boxes used as bunkers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What they would do
Those
is
do
they,
get
like
used a lot.
the blue electrical boxes that you put in the wall, just turn those upside down and spray paint it gray. They're like, that looks great. And I'm like, no, it doesn't.
That's the worst.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
You
That
just
looks like an
throw them off
electrical
the table.
box.
Guys, I just have a note here. It says, talk about the time before neoprene mats. Of course, our friends at Frontline Gaming.
Oh,
Frontline Gaming
Oh,
are
yeah,
Oh,
neoprene.
fantastic mats.
I mean,
with
if you
great
were
high quality
lucky,
displays.
If you were lucky prior to
yourself.
neoprene, you had yourself one of the GW specials
The
with
plastic.
Oh.
built-in hills.
I have
one of the
one of those
plastic
tables.
Yeah,
The 6x4 plastic hill table that
Yeah.
please don't ever use because everything falls over as soon as you put it
it's
on the
so
table.
good.
So,
You would have to flock it so thickly that like your hand would go in like foam, so that shit wouldn't fall over. And hills were so important in Warhammer Fantasy Battle that you'd always be setting up to do like, I'm gonna charge down this hill, and then all your dudes would just be like, nah, we're gonna do it early, boys.
Yeah,
And they start to
they're sliding
slide, they fucking astro glide down that shit. So you had to flock that to no end. We
Yeah.
had, I think, like 6 of them at our club by the end of it all, and no one wanted to use them. Like they were heavy as all shit. You had to stick them together.
Rolling
Someone would always
dice on
bang
them
the table.
sucked.
Rolling
Yeah, it was
dice
so loud.
sounded
Yeah.
like a machine gun was going off in front of you.
I have
Which-
one in my basement.
Yeah.
But inbuilt
Maybe what
hills, we could bring those back, guys. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Figure it
Yeah.
out.
Just
make
do
them more
Frontline.
stepped. It would be easy.
Frontline, I want you to sell a hill pack that's neoprene hills. It's just 30 pieces of neoprene you have to organize.
Very
Biggest to
squishy.
smallest.
Oh no.
Very good. I
like
want
it.
to say thank you to Bums who joined us the Grim Resolve level.
you,
Thank you so
Bums.
much.
Thanks,
for
Bums.
the
Thanks,
support.
bums.
Always like it when we get bums. And then what do people have to consider when creating terrain?
Well, line of sight, I think, is for 40K specifically is the biggest one. I think if you're going to talk about gaming wise, if you're talking about modeling wise, you need to really think about shedding. Like if you use some base material, it's going to fall off and it's going to get on other shit. It's going to be terrible. Just don't use that stuff. Like why?
Don't do it.
Just don't. You don't have to.
Just get some Elmer's glue and some gravel outside. Mix it together in your mouth.
Yep. Swallow it down.
Don't do that.
Soak down the
okay.
gravy. It'll be good for your immune system.
Oh,
It
jeez.
look, chickens do it. They're fine.
It's true. It's true. They have gizzards though.
Well, maybe people do too.
Pete
Peter.
touched on this earlier.
Is it?
Some of the indexes did a little better than the other ones there, and some player bases are very unhappy about their indexes. But this Death Guard player here is very much a glass half full kind of person. He says, "You know what I think? Death Guard is one of the armies that came out how 10th was intended. I think that just other indexes got far too powerful without any weaknesses."
Yep.
What's your guys' pro takes on this pro take?
Well, Death Guard definitely came out with some weaknesses, like movement and shooting and close combat
Resiliency
Those are
in
all those
general.
things.
and resiliency in general.
I think their close combat is fine.
Mhm.
Like
Their close
I was
combat is
close
fine,
combat
but
in-
only because nobody's is good.
How is
Like,
close
other
combat in this
than-
in general? Yeah, in this
okay.
edition.
I don't
Other
agree
than
with
like
that at all.
Custodes, I would say close combat's pretty bad for most armies. with the exception of 1 or 2 units.
So I will say then, Danny, as a follow-up to this, what makes Death Guard, what's happening that's making Death Guard to be perceived to be so bad? Because they're one of the very vocal player bases who aren't happy with their index.
I think some of their points are a little messed up. I think that's the primary thing. Like, it feels like maybe everything is just a little bit overcosted, like maybe 10% or something like that. I think they'd be a lot better if that happened.
Yeah. Pete, what's your take on Death Guard in 10th?
I just don't think they have an identity. Like, there's nothing, none of their special stuff feels special. And that sucks when they're also overcosted. Like, it's a lot of other indexes, like they gave them a thing that makes them feel like, yeah, this is a faction that's not just power armor, it's not just Terminator armor. And I don't see that in the Death Guard Codex.
Right. Absolutely. How do you guys rate the quality of the index reset overall? This is kind of the second index reset in about 3 or so editions. How do you guys rate the quality of what GW has done in resetting the entire game?
It's way better than 8th.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll say that.
Yeah, you can't, I mean, that's like inarguable, I feel like. Like, it's not the best. I would give it like probably a B- if I were going to grade the indexes coming out. Like, just because there's a lot of balancing that still needs to be done. And we're not talking about the rules of 40K. We're talking about the indexes specifically.
Yeah, fair. Pete?
Yeah, I think that's kind of fair. I would have said like a C+. It's not great. There's like a core middle group of, I don't know, 7 or 8 indexes that are fine together. Like, they play together really well. Even some of like the lower top end indexes feel decent. Like Custodes or Chaos Space Marines, like, you put them on the table, they're a little stronger than the others, but they feel good to play. It's just that, like, that bottom 3 or 4 and that top 3 or 4 that are extremely problematic, and it's like there's a huge difference, like, when you go down those tiers, right? So
yeah,
absolutely. Denny, I named this next one here Great Success. This would be a meme that you shared. Using the cloud. In fact, Danny, it's been a while. What are we seeing here right now?
Okay, hold on. I got to pull up this meme in Discord really quick. So what we're seeing here is we are looking at a scene from the movie Borat. I believe this is a 2004 movie. Does that sound right? I feel like that's correct.
Old now. Yeah.
It's actually extremely old.
Wow.
Anyway, in this scene here, Borat is talking about his neighbor and the things that his neighbor gets, and he compares.
Real quick, you weren't right. It was actually 2006, but still, holy shit, I'm old.
Idiot.
Sorry, I feel like that's pretty freaking close.
That was pretty close. Yeah.
I'll give you that one, Danny.
Much
Just
the Death Guard index for Games Workshop, it was pretty close to being good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's much like the Death Guard. Anyway, he's comparing Age of Sigmar to Warhammer 40,000, saying that 40K is getting all the things that he got. And then I think it says something about something stupid like, "Oh, I got a double turn and they don't." I don't know.
He said, "This is my neighbor. He is paying an asshole. I have streamlined rules. He gets streamlined rules. I have General's Handbook. He gets chapter approved. I got many different armies. He has only Marines. Great success."
Yep. So good job, Age of Sigmar. You did it.
Good job. Pete, as Goonhammer's sole Age of Sigmar correspondent, as I'm gathering from your tweeting today, how is Age of Sigmar doing right now?
Pretty good. As like there was a little bit of the thing about the Age of Sigmar community I have learned in my short time trying to pander to them to come to Falcon.
They run onto stages very quickly, almost knocking over
do
thousands
that.
of dollars of audio equipment.
But they're just like the competitive side, at least of the community, is just like always happy. I don't know what the hell's going on, but maybe it's because they don't understand things like pre-measuring or anything like that. But they just like there's just joy in their hearts all the time. So I didn't even realize that this last General's Handbook was considered like super bad, just like not fun or good at all until they released the announced the new one coming, the Wizard one, and everyone's like, this is so much better than the last garbage piece of shit we had, and I was just like, I have not seen a single post where anyone said that before, but that's just how they are, I guess. Yeah. That's it. It sounds like things are going well, that the imbalance there is not too terrible. Although at my event, I think like 4 of the top 5 armies were Soul Blight, and watching their games, I just wanted to rip my eyes out because there was like 100 zombie dogs, and that was it, was what it felt like I was watching, just a bunch of zombie dogs in the middle of the table for 2.5 hours.
Oh, just memories of Barkstar coming back. But in your opinion, is it still seen as the smaller game?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, and kind of with that thought, what Age of Sigmar rules do you guys think you would want to see ported over to 40K?
There's a gremlin inside me that wants to say one thing.
Do it. Free the beast.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't say it.
Danny knows. Sticky knows.
Don't break my heart.
Bring in the double turn, baby. Let's do it. Let's break this game wide open. Let's just tear it.
Imagine
right down.
Current Index Eldari with a double turn.
Oh, dude. The Overwatch strat is basically their double turn. Like if you play into Eldari with Wraithguard and the Overwatch double strat, like they have 2 full turns of shooting at you already. It's gross.
Danny, what do you want to see ported in?
Okay. This is a better answer than Peter's. Like 100%. Everyone will agree. Yeah. Doesn't even matter what I say. I could literally say anything. Covering combat or like characters being on their own again or something stupid. But really what we need for 40K is faction terrain on the table all the time. I want to see it. It's freaking cool. And the ability to interact with that stuff. In 40K, you could just give it a stat line like you're doing now. But I'd like to see that stuff on the table more because I think it would be cool.
Do you think that would help with some people's terrain complaints if every army got like a free terrain piece to take with them?
Yeah, I think that might help.
Definitely help
depending on what the piece
to
of
make like 1,000 freaking right now at Frontline HQ, someone is sitting feverishly gluing together MDF kits and for our preparation for LVO. And if you had to bring your own terrain to that, I'm sure that would help out with that. I would personally say it's been a while since I played Age of Sigmar, but I always found endless spells a fascinating mechanic.
That'd be cool.
And I think that would be a cool thing to port over, especially just for like the visual aspect of 40K of just that smite being like a little ball that's chasing you around the table. And I wanted the narrative of running away from the smite ball. Like
Eldritch Storm, like that staying on the table and moving around. It'd be super cool. Yeah.
I do like downvoting people. Downvoting people said night terrain. The terrain you would bring would be a big empty space. Towering, but in terrain form.
No, it's that scaffold. The knights can step in that scaffold and get fixed or get their missiles reloaded.
How tall is the scaffold? It's an entire knight size.
You can see right through it, John. That's the important part.
What is an Age of Sigmar faction that you guys would want to see 40K-ized or kind of science faction?
Like, don't even Seraphon. It has to be. Cool. It has to be Seraphon. There is no other proper answer.
Yeah, I mean, there is one other answer, Peter.
What's that?
Skaven.
You're wrong.
What?
I'm sorry, Danny. Were you referring to the Hrud?
No. The Hrud aren't even... They're not even like little vermin. They're like... Aren't they like
just
lizards?
rat people.
They got retconned, John. They got retconned, John. Like, get with the program. They started as rat people... Now they're like amorphous time creatures that kind of
spent
like
at least $90 on a Xenos art book I have yet to read that tells me what Hrud are. Yeah. That's all I know.
Well, yeah, they look like wiggly worm men.
This guy
They
here
look like
this-
Grimace from McDonald's. Like
look
it's just an
just
army of
like-
Grimaces.
those Shrud shakes though are amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing.
This next one before Dickie brings us up, this was a slide that audibly made him go like, what the hell is this? So I'm very excited to see your guys' reaction at this one. This one here says evolution of my new proxy repulsor executioner. What are we looking at here, guys?
What the fuck did it start as?
Like what is going on?
Yeah.
Dickie, maybe while we're
what
talking,
isn't
could you
going
pull,
on?
Is this
could you
this
pull up an actual
styrofoam?
repulsor
Is this like a
executioner?
styrofoam base?
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
to be, right? Like that
Yeah.
texture. Like you have to do some real work unless that's styrofoam. That has to be. What? Why does it have like a dildo on top?
Oh, I think that's the
Well,
cannon.
That's the
Okay.
executioner part.
Mhm.
That's the executioner. I see it now. I see it now.
It's the repulsive executioner. I love that.
Ooh.
That's good. Come on. Screw you.
All right.
I'd let you run it
Um,
as a hammerhead.
I
Do
would
it.
like that better almost. Like
Well,
but-
that
but
works
it-
more. For the
Okay,
greater
some,
good.
but not much.
1 second. Let me try to.
Dickie's trying to hide all of his
my
research
porn.
for
Enhance.
whose grunt is this anyway
we
on the
can't
other
give
tab.
away the thing here. Save. Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, you talk amongst yourselves. Don't ruin the show. I'll put up.
That's
the
fine.
actual-
No,
yeah.
that's fine. Guys, what is the worst proxy you've ever run in your armies?
Oh, I've run a lot of really bad proxies, John, in my armies.
So, okay, seeing them side
Like
by side.
empty
Holy crap.
bases, probably.
I'm trying to think.
What
I
is
mean, I
even
did do
Who
happening?
did it
Basically,
better?
basically
Who did it better? Who did it
I
better?
can't even tell the difference. They're the same. Those are the
It's
same picture.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
now that
told
I
you to
see them both, looks good to me. I
Dickie, I
approve it.
told you to find a picture of the actual repulsor executioner, not just the same model again.
Yeah.
Yeah, just right there.
I-
No
Got better
I
lighting
approve
this time.
in a
I
second.
think. That must be the difference.
That's
Oof.
beautiful.
Jesus.
Yeah, but what's a terrible proxy you've ran?
I had this aquarium tree that I did paint it like one of those
That's
bonsai
much
trees.
fun.
I cut it, I chopped it up, and then I added a bunch of maggots coming out of it
Mhm.
as
Like
a
real
great unclean
maggots?
one. No, they were
As a-
pieces of
as a
rice,
great
John,
unclean one,
on a 50
Yeah.
millimeter base.
and you're
I
still
used to-
ashamed.
I used that beer can's drop pod.
I mean, who
About
did
the
Oh.
same. It's about the same
I
footprint.
used bowls as drop pods before.
Guys, we got to stop real quick. School bus 40K sold out. Welcome to
Oh,
the sellout
no.
level.
Oh, thanks,
Oh,
man.
you
So many
fucking
freaking sellouts.
sell
Thank you
out.
so much.
Thank you,
but
School
yeah,
Bus 40K.
Thanks.
yeah. I really hope. Is it short bus 40K? School bus 40K? Who knows? It could be either.
School bus. Maybe you shouldn't call them short
Yeah,
bus.
don't call it short bus. Let's not make fun of the guy who became a member. Jesus.
That makes okay. One thing that Dickie and to a certain extent I'll get very frustrated for is when I just mercifully just make fun of people who support us and are actively nice to us.
I imagine Val's watching this right now, or maybe later, and going, "Oh my God, why did I let him name these?" Is probably what I'm saying to myself. Like, what am I? Oh,
Well, there's Let and me getting the email first that we can do this, and me just
Got
doing
him.
it. That's the thing. I got him. But yeah, welcome to Sellout.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's get that beautiful thing off my screen
Okay.
before I want to put 3 of those on top of a styrofoam ruin.
Didn't we make a video with that model?
This one here, Danny, go ahead and describe what we're looking at here.
It appears to be Rick from The Walking Dead,
Uh-huh.
the character, not the actor. I don't actually know what the actor's name is.
Rick
Something
John
much
Bon
It
better.
Jovi.
says Warhammer is surprised. He looks very surprised, but also maybe like he's been crying a little bit. There's
I think
kind of a
he's sad.
sadness in his
I think
eyes.
he's sad.
Yeah,
I know you have
Yeah.
trouble with registering emotion in people, Danny, but
Yeah.
it's true.
he's sad.
Anyway, it says Warhammer 40K fans seen Age of Sigmar fans getting another amazing centerpiece model.
Yeah.
Parentheses, they have to contend with another Space Marine model, end parentheses.
I get it.
So-
I see it.
You know
see
what?
it.
Didn't hold on a minute. I'm going to address this. Kim put in the chat Andrew Lincoln nerd. Like I'm supposed to know who this guy is. You know what? If he was on a show that was good, maybe I would. But he's on The Walking Dead, and that show sucks, and it sucks.
He isn't
since
even on The
second
Walking
season.
Dead.
No, he left like
Is he-
3 seasons ago.
More than
Well,
that. Like,
they're
yeah.
bringing him back though, aren't they? For like a standalone.
Yeah, he's getting
thing?
his own show like soon.
Yeah,
There's supposed to be movies.
He's not gone. He's not gone. He's unkillable. It's stupid, and the show is stupid.
And just to point out here, School Bus 40K, the newest member of a sellout level, said it's both school and short. So the joke is not mean. It is accurate.
there we go.
Yeah.
Good.
It was a 50-50 of a fencer. Like, I wish it would come up immediately. School Bus 40K has left the sellout level. That would be even better. But this is being kind of, I mean, maybe not hotly contested because I think there's a very definitive answer. But between Age of Sigmar and 40K, who has the better model range?
Age of Sigmar by like
a
it's
good
true.
slide.
Yeah.
What makes it so much better?
They actually use their imagination for Age of Sigmar. Feels that way.
Fair. Danny, would you
The centerpiece models are so much better. Like a big blocky tank is not nearly as cool as like a big flying monster, you know, like with a rider on its back.
Yep.
So they can get more wild with that stuff because obviously in 40K they're kind of tied to their IP. Although I don't know, some of the new models that they've come out with recently have been really excellent.
Oh yeah.
Like the stuff from Leviathan was all really, really good.
All the NID stuff from Leviathan was gorgeous.
Do you guys feel 40K is moving towards each faction having that large centerpiece model, similar to the way Age of Sigmar's model ranges seem to be designed?
I believe
And
so.
yes, John Jeffries, I am drinking a wine cooler. It's Mike Brand's Hard Lemonade.
Let's not address that. Let's move on. Move past the wine cooler. I think that's and honestly I think that's cool. That would be totally fine if there was a really good model that was big, that was good in every faction, so people took it. I think that would look really cool. Hopefully there's more than one of those and that, you know, they're both good.
And I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing that with a lot of these factions, especially the Xenos factions, they're getting 2 or 3 kind of centerpiece models,
like the Morkanaut
tanks. Yeah, like the Morkanaut.
Well, I would say the Gorkanaut is more of the centerpiece model for that faction.
It's true. It's true.
But what would your guys' favorite centerpiece model be that GW has made?
Gobsprak.
That's a good model.
Excuse you.
Gobsprak is the best model GW has ever released.
Which one was Gobsprak again?
He's the goblin wizard on the giant like vulture.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay, fair. That one was
really
amazing.
Cool. Like the vulture wyvern, which is pretty dope. I really like Kragnos.
He's good too. Yeah,
he's such a cool model. Like the little art, like that's been like the hieroglyphs that are painted like on his base, like in the ruins and stuff. Or
I don't know if you've seen it. Sorry, there's
no, it's okay.
A guy that did a conversion mixing Kragnos and Magnus the Red, and it's fucking incredible. It looks gorgeous.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess at $300. I guess about $300 for that model. It should look gorgeous. But Dickie, I'm sorry, you were saying
the new Giant King guy. I thought that guy was really cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Not as cool as Kragnos, but he's pretty cool.
Not as cool as Kragnos. No.
Hey, what about you? Who's your favorite centerpiece?
Did you just
say Angron?
Can't say Angron?
No, you cannot.
Karn, the Betrayer. I love
Get out of here.
Yeah, where did my soundboard go?
Dude, they're like world leaders. Like, what do you got for world leaders, bro? Like, what am I gonna say? A Land Raider Redemptor? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? From
Lord of Skulls, now appropriately pointed.
No, it's not appropriately pointed.
It is. It is.
525 points for that? No, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir. No.
You take 3. You have enough points left over for something. What do you guys want to see? What will be a perfect 40K centerpiece model for you guys that isn't currently available?
Man, good question. Because like my perfect centerpiece model does exist. Like the Avatar of Cain it's perfect now, and like I love that model to pieces. Oh, I know what I would pick. I want Vect to have the Dais of Destruction.
Yeah,
and like I think
Really
that
wants
would
the
be a
slave girls
super cool
back.
centerpiece model.
That's cool. That's cool. Weird,
Yeah.
but cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring me those slave girls
They
back.
would
please.
Yes.
they would PG the crap out of that. Don't give me that stuff.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
the number one
Obviously.
selling kit, so nerds on eBay could buy slave girls to add to anything that they added to their fan canon about.
People were using them as tokens at LVO. So yeah, any excuse they can use to grab those. I want the Votan head. I want big head.
Oh,
You guys want the
that'd be cool.
computer? Yeah, that would be really cool. And I want it to have like a Windows 3.11 screen on the back
Oh, it
of it.
would be amazing. Can you imagine? I would buy it twice as fast.
Yeah.
Moving on. This one came out on the always popular Grim Dank. This was a couple weeks ago. I've been sitting on this back burner. It says, I have to go a Warhammer party tomorrow. What is the most esoteric yet utterly so amazing that if I mention it, I will be the star of the party?
What in the absolute shit is this?
And then it goes on to elaborate. I have to go a Warhammer party tomorrow. What is the most esoteric yet utterly so
What did he just say?
amazing that if I mention it, I will be the star of the party?
Punchy delivery, John.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
thank you. But I read it how it's written. Don't put it on the teleprompter.
Don't
I
put it
will
on.
read it.
Are
guess-
you asking us to answer this question?
Yeah, answer this question. So I guess they're going to a Warhammer party tomorrow. What is? I'm guessing. What's the most random thing that they could mention that will make them super popular at a Warhammer party?
Oh, I know the answer to this. Knowing and having memorized all of Cato Sicarius's lines from all of the books that he's ever been in and being able to recite them would be extremely impressive.
If you only spoke in Cato Sicarius at a party, I think immediately you'd be laid.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't. Yeah, it would just happen. Like your pants would stay on. It would just happen.
You just go to a costume party as you, Cato Sicarius. Crib Shadow coming and say, I feel like John just makes this up on Photoshop. God, I wish I did. I really, really wish I did, but no, I go to these places. So you don't have to. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Pete, what is the most esoteric yet utterly so amazing thing that they can mention?
God, I don't even know. Like an esoteric yet so utterly amazing thing. I don't know. Like frig. Like
how do you when you go to parties? Because popular social man.
I am
of
a popular
culture
social
of
person.
yourself.
Single
Do you
father.
go to a lot of parties, Pete?
When people ask you, people outside the Warhammer world, about your hobbies and what you do, how is it you explain to them to make them think that you're so amazing?
Usually what I do is I recount the full original end times from Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Oh, wow.
The one that was retconned, not the newer one, but like
one you wrote
from
yourself?
page one. From page one. No, the one where GW released like a campaign, but you had to run like specific lists for each faction, and then you could send in your results,
right.
and
Are you
they
talking about
wrote a
Storm of
story.
Chaos?
Yeah, and they wrote a story, but it was effectively end times. And then when Chaos won, they changed it so that Grimgor Ironhide actually was the victor when he domed in Archaon's head. So yeah, I would recount that like whenever I have a need to be popular in a room, I tell everyone to come sit around the table, and I tell the story from the beginning.
Learn about the Dornian heresy.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
We're gonna skip ahead a couple slides here. We're gonna go straight to Falcon questions. I'm sorry, we're probably not gonna get to realtor or 40K professional today.
Well, I think we should be doing realtor instead.
We do right now. We have Falcon questions, which are far too entertaining to ignore. Let's go to the very hastily put together.
Wait.
The very hastily put together bumper.
Is my bumper just me making this face?
It could be.
Now it is.
It should be.
In the grim darkness of the far-flung realms, where heroes rise and legends overwhelm, there's a segment that'll take you on a flight into the depths of imagination, shining bright.
Who made this?
So, Pete, I know you don't really super watch all the time, but with Falcon Fiction, I did create a minute-long bumper, which was your AI-generated voice reading poetry that ChatGPT created about Falcon Fiction. So I just kept that in, and I just added it in there. I know that's so long. That's what she said. Anyway, we asked our members
Paul
and
Winters, I
fans
miss
on the
him.
Discord questions asked Pete the Falcon. The first one here from Paul Winters. Who's also in the Midwest, not the Pacific Northwest, right, Danny? Who says, I wonder how the Falcon
on the coast.
I wonder how the Falcon sleeps at night, knowing he introduced math into 40K to determine who is best instead of the old boys club way of nepotism and sociopathic cheating.
I mean, if you guys have seen any of Team America, you know that I didn't change anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
Good
that's fair.
Good answer.
Good answer. Next up, Sam Lemon said, is using cereal as basing material the newest meta?
As someone that watched the nacho chip meta kind of expand in 2019, yes, it's the way to go.
Yeah. He also came in with this fantastic question here saying, with Element Games now commemorating toilet dice by having the dice framed and hosted above the toilet in question, what other awkward historical 40K moments should be commemorated?
Can we just stop at this picture for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
this picture bothers me so much.
This makes me angry because this is a store. They could at any time expense I don't know, $6 toilet paper holder. And they could literally expense that. It wouldn't cost them anything.
Super angry is they went to the expense of a shadow box frame, about $15 to $20 US.
Yeah.
They went to the expense of a full color printout, about $5, I would imagine, for the card stock, and a color photo would be about 50 cents, say. So almost $30 on a joke. But they can't afford a toilet roll holder, and then instead they have 3 open and used toilet rolls on just this shelf where they didn't even seam the side. And yeah,
and I think this is an outhouse. I'm feeling this isn't even in the building. This is like an outdoor scenario.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't I'm making this up, but I
they have a plunger, so they clearly care about the toilet.
They do care about that.
A plunger. If you pan down, there's balls in that. But anyway,
sorry, what?
More dice.
what other? Don't actually pan down. That was a joke. What other historical 40K awkward historical 40K event should be commemorated?
I mean, water bottle gate. We should probably do something with that.
Oh yeah, Danny, we could sell at our LVO merch stand, like water bottles.
Water bottle croupier.
Yeah. Half drunk water bottles though, they can't be full.
Yeah, well, Danny, that's your job at LVO is to half drink 150 bottles of water.
What other ones have been good? I mean, previously mentioned on the show was Koozie Gate. I think that would be great.
I forgot about that. God, no.
Koozie Gate was great.
It was.
Clock.
What
gate,
other?
Someone said.
What gate?
Clock
gate. Clock gate. Oh, who even knows?
Thank you, Gannons. Gannons as well. Joined the team.
Grapondo Gate.
Oh, Grapondo Gate. Any of the absolutely terrible things that Josh Death did at one time or another in his early years.
Death gave about
that. What's that one?
Lanagate. Yeah.
Laniganate.
Oh.
We should just do like a Hall of Shame, because I'm sure people would love that. I'm sure.
Okay, that's a new segment, Dickie. Remind me, I got to make a bumper for a Hall of Shame, and we can induct people.
I like it.
A weekly Hall of Shame.
Yeah, moving on. Bums, who joined us as a member today, but did ask a question. Which of the Grim hosts could you not take in a fight? This isn't a question. This is a really fucking easy question.
Oh.
Who could you not beat up? Me or Danny? Danny, who is 3 times my size and strength.
I'm also a coward, though. So
I really feel like the shocking thing about all of this is I'm 6 feet tall, and when I've met both of you in person, I was like, how am I the small one here? by like such a significant margin.
I think that's what Val said as well when we first met him. He was like, "Jesus Christ, you're tall," like to both of us.
Yeah,
It's true.
Like if it was between you two, like I would probably have to try to fight John. But you're Scottish, so I don't know how that would go. If it included everybody, I would fight Val in a second because the man has like nothing left of him. He is like
shell of his former self,
sickly man. And the one guy,
man, if you will,
the one guy I wouldn't fight is Dickie because Dickie has been trained to kill people.
He's crazy, dude. Have you ever heard him talk about stuff? It's insane. I've heard more crazy things come out of that man's mouth.
Like he used to be in the CFL.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Quennell coming in chat.
Hold on.
Yeah.
John, stop.
This will never be resolved. This will never be known. We will only know what Pete has said. Quennell coming in saying Danny's an easy opponent. Just tickle the back of his knees. One. How does he know that?
That will work.
Wow.
Two.
Danny, I don't like how you said that. You're like,
do it. Oh, that'll work. And then secondly, this is a meme one, but just say us for friendliness. Which 40K podcast / YouTube creator is the most insufferable?
Oh, that's a good question. I kind of want to answer it legitimately.
No, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Do it, Danny.
Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding. No, everybody does great content.
Everyone everyone serves a portion of the community they're meant to serve. Just some of those community portions are not things I'm interested in ever seeing.
Steven Box is 100%.
They're really stupid.
Steven Box.
I'll never say that. That man is like so incredibly strong and fit. He would run 300 miles to punch me in the dick.
Like that. Like he would do it in seconds. But yeah, that's it. I'm saying Steven Box because he and I, we know each other.
That's fair. Would you play with weighted dice if it was legal, but every roll has to be in the toilet?
Yes.
I'm thinking this is like what's the name of that game where it has like the dice popper in the center of it, and you pop it down and you have to...
Oh, sorry, or like double.
No, don't apologize. It's fine. I'm just asking for the name of the game.
Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that, but you're playing in the toilet. Well, this is a dangerous one when we're running about 10 minutes over, but Mark M is asking, has Falcon seen any good movies lately?
No, but I really plan on going to see a bunch of them this next couple of weeks. I want to see Oppenheimer and Barbie. I might do a double feature of both.
Yeah.
And I've heard great things about Across the Spider-Verse. Like there's a lot coming out here that I really need to slam down big style.
Perfect. Moving on quickly, Gannons is asking, what is your dominatrix safe word?
Pituitary.
Pituitary.
That was very quick too.
Yeah.
That was
very quick.
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah.
Danny, do you have a safe word, or are you just all gas, no brakes?
No, dude. If there's no danger, then what's the thrill?
It's fair.
Well,
Mark M coming in saying, we heard the story about John embarrassing Danny at a Thai restaurant. What's the most Danny has embarrassed John?
Oh no. This is what you said.
For interest of his career, I'm going to point out only one instance that I can remember. A few years ago, Danny was very lucky to get married to a beautiful and wonderful woman who, much like both me and Pete, who he's now in a relationship with, people we don't deserve, but somehow managed to get there. So thanks for that. I was lucky enough to attend his wedding. It was a beautiful ceremony in Alaska. However, one of the photos he shared, one of the primary photos that was shared, was this one here, which I'm going to share with you guys now. This is not, in fact, me with my wife, who I went to the ceremony with. This is me with our good friend Josh, who everyone now has questioned whether I'm actually in a relationship with Josh, not my wife, as we look incredibly happy together.
Very happy.
We're also in matching outfits
together. Yeah.
We also
look at your hand on his shoulder, dude.
What you really have to ask yourself is where the second hand is.
Oh.
No, I don't.
So that was, didn't share a photo of me and my wife, but me and our very good friend Josh. Two more here. Bums ask, what would you rather fight, 100 Nurgling sized Titans or one Titan sized Nurgling?
Oh, the Nurgling sized Titans in a second, man.
In a second, yeah. Titan
the
size Nurgling
disease
is
and
so
shit
great
on
on
a
team one.
big Nurgling, like that's so gross.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
It is, and we already covered if Val didn't actually have a kid. What's he doing right now? He's on the couch. He's in some boy band I've never heard of. And then finally, God, I forgot about this one. What is Falcon's thoughts on Rogue One, and with its religious undertones, would he consider it a Christmas film?
So, like the big thing about a Christmas film is there has to be character growth, and we really didn't see very much character growth in Rogue One, and it really wasn't around that proper time of year. But you need both. You can't have just one, and that's always been the problem with films like Die Hard or other shitty like attempts at Christmas movies that aren't really Christmas movies. So no, Rogue One can't be a Christmas movie, unfortunately. But you know, if anybody in that like Lucasfilm area wants to sit down and chat, I'm sure we could put together a really good Christmas special.
Oh, jeez.
They already have one. They don't need a second one.
No, one.
We're gonna skip Realtor 40K winner just now.
I'm really mad about this.
That'll come next week. That's a little hook, as they
week.
call it in the industry. You'll have to come back again next week to play. Actually, Dickie, throw up the little bumper I made for it just as a tease.
Oh, yeah, 1 second. Is it long?
Oh, love it. And people asking Val's in chat, and he just said just mopped up a pretty catastrophic blowout. Which don't share that, man. I don't know what we need to do in your private time. But yeah, let's wrap this up. Pete, as a guest, what do you want to plug? What do you want to ask people to write about Age of Sigmar for?
Oh, I guess I could talk about that. I usually don't plug anything. Yeah, send a message to contact@goonhammer.com if you want to write an article about basically anything that's not 40K, because we don't care about your 40K opinions.
They're bad.
But would love anything else. And other than that, like, I got nothing else to say. Like, you guys are cool. I think you're pretty. There are no other good 40K podcasts on the internet anymore, so it's great.
Wow.
High praise. I was expecting just cynicism.
I didn't say you guys were good. I just said there aren't any. So
like we're part of the not any.
No, don't worry. We're gonna edit that out.
That does make more sense.
Nice.
Yeah, makes more sense.
Danny, anything you want to hit on before we head out for the night?
No, John, I don't.
Beautiful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us here on Grim After Dark. You can find all of our socials and way to support us at grimafterdark.com. We are YouTube partners now. So you can join as a member of Grim After Dark to guarantee you get 100% access to the full recording of the live show afterwards. No edited versions for you. We will be back next Monday live at 10 p.m. Eastern-ish. And if you can't catch us live, like I said, subscribe to the podcast and all good services. And remember, when your life feels like a never-ending siege and things can't get any worse, join us here. And remember, it's always Grim After Dark.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, you're out. The mics are live.
Yay.
Yay.
Earl Hagen was a legend.
Thanks a lot,
In
guys.
1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into
How are
our
we
Rip
gonna
Shatters.
hearts.
update this part?
You should not actually.
Decades
play
later,
OSS
he made a
40K.
comeback, lending
I don't
those
get it.
lustrous lips in the
What's going on?
1980s
This
to
part?
such bands as the
That's a great
Scorpions,
question, Danny.
Guns N'
I don't have
Roses,
the- I don't have
and
the
Pat
correct answer right
Benatar.
now.
Could you get the correct answer right now? Come on.
A half
Dickie.
century
I got like
after his
3
uncle's
minutes.
Add
beginning,
couples
he's
names
at it
that are
again.
partnered that are members.
This time without
Did you do it
cumbersome
from
musical
scratch? Just
accompaniment.
redo it.
He'll have you
Why
wetting
would I
your
do it
whistle
from
and whistling
scratch?
along.
Why wouldn't
Why?
you just redo it from scratch?
New
That
Earl
just sounds
Whistles
lazy.
Disney is
John,
sure to
I
be a
am
hit with
lazy.
all
Not pay you,
generations.
so you can't
You
do it
could
from
like do a
scratch.
whole
Order now and
new
receive a
outro.
bonus album.
Ugh.
With
Earl
like-
whistles more shit. A
Like
collection
just
of previously
a
unreleased
whole
material of
Wikipedia
Earl's
article.
favorite songs through the
Whole
years.
new outro?
On this
why not?
bonus album, he
Yeah.
I feel like
demonstrates
this is
his
a
newly
good
mastered
outro. Why do we
technique
need to
of
reinvent
inward
the wheel?
whistling.
It's
What do
good.
you think we pay you for?
You don't
Order
pay
yours
me.
today on compact disc or double
Maybe if you could do
We
the
don't have
correct
to pay you.
thing,
you.
You
Available
used to
at
be in the
retailers such as
CFL, the
Walgreens,
Canadian
I
Football
quit.
League.
You're an intern.
participating Sam Goody stores.
He had a knee injury. It was
Earl
life
whistles
ending.
Disney. Buy
A
it today.
life-ending knee injury? Jeez.
Life-ending knee injury. And so he joined